speaking of getting your money, A.J. Brown has gotten his. It's official. They signed the contract yesterday, 4-year, $100 million extension, and it came just 4 days after the surprise trade. Just when we're expecting Deebo Samuel to maybe get traded, the 49ers receiver stays put. The Titans receiver goes to Philadelphia. Here is A.J. Brown yesterday talking about the emotions he experienced on the day that the trade happened.
I kind of knew about the possible trade at around 1 o'clock, and just mixed emotions. I went and worked out, and actually worked out real hard. Tried to get some stuff out of my chest, and it was just ups and downs. Like I said, it was bittersweet. I was a little sad that the time was on board with the trade, but it's a part of the business, and that's fine. But once everything got done and the trade went through and Jalen called me, he made it a lot easier. Like I said, it's been bittersweet, but also I'm so excited to be a part of a great organization.
AJ, did you request a trade from Tennessee? And if so, can you help explain why?
I'm going to try not to get into all that, but, I'm not going to look backwards, moving forward. And, like I said, I'm excited.
Yeah, look, he doesn't want to have issues with the Titans fan base.
Very
he doesn't want them
there.
to think that he didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
and it's
well
a smart
done.
way to do it.
Yeah.
But, it all started when they offered him $16 million a year, I believe.
Yes.
They lowballed him.
Yes.
I
No
know
doubt
you got to start
lowballed him.
somewhere.
We know that.
I know you got to start somewhere, but where you start is a strong indicator of where you're going to finish. And it's just a starting point in a negotiation at 16.
We'll get up to 30.
Start at 16.
Yeah.
Where you get to 30? I don't think so.
Right.
So that's why it's always important. That first move is always important. And what also is important is if the first move is high enough to elicit a response, where that I know when I was negotiating settlements when I was practicing law, that first move by the other side was critical too. Then you get an idea if that gap is something that can be bridged. So he knew that it wasn't going to be bridged. And so the Titans are a fascinating laboratory experiment of this idea. Okay, we can take veteran receiver who's 3 years in. We've scratched off the lottery ticket. It's a winner. We're trading it back in for another lottery ticket. Let's go. Let's go, Treylon Burks. Let's go.
I know.
Good luck.
It's going to be
good
fun.
luck, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, there's few things at play here. I want to hit on that, like what you're talking about there. I think it's fair to point out, first off, something we talk about a lot. This is why I would love the public to see a video of A.J. Brown, all those ones that, say honor a contract or do this or do that. The guy wanted to stay in Tennessee. You could see it. He was hurt by it. His feelings are hurt. He was emotionally connected. He was all in on the organization. But, at some point, you got to make a business decision, and like you've talked about, know your worth. And this is without a doubt one of the 5 best receivers in football. So, okay. They weren't going to pay him anywhere near that, that range of pay. So he had to make a decision. It's not his fault. It's not. So that's a tough thing for the player. But I'm with you too, Mike, in the fact of, this experiment that we've been talking about for the last 10 days or so. The teams that need receivers, the teams that go, hey, screw that. I'll never pay a receiver that. John Robinson from New England, I'm not shocked that he's one of these guys that's going to take that and go, I'll look in the draft. I'll try to do it that way. And I understand that. I get it, especially, like we talked about, there's a lot of talented guys coming out, but it's risky, like you said, it is.
And the one encouraging aspect of what we've seen this year, especially at the receiver position, it started a couple of years ago at quarterback. It has spread to the receiver position, and I'm surprised it did, but I'm glad it did. Because what we are doing gradually, one player at a time, not universally, though, because there are other teams that refuse to go along with this. We're getting past this idea that in some way, shape, or form, the players are stuck. The players have no options. The players have no rights. They have to, not happy, too bad. Don't want to be there anymore, tough luck. Not happy with what we're paying you, nothing you can do about it. We're getting to the point where the players have a voice and their voices are being respected. Now, the players have tried to use their voices in the past, and there's a certain irony to the idea that the Eagles are the ones who gave A.J. Brown all that money, because Terrell Owens, we've talked about this before, back in 2005, he was the trailblazer. There was just no trail to be blazed at the time because the Eagles' attitude was tough crap.
Right.
We're not doing anything. Oh, you played with a broken ankle in the Super Bowl? Good for you, Jack. We're not doing anything about your contract. You signed it. You signed the contract. We own the contract, so we own you. That was the attitude. It's not a good attitude. It's not a very enlightened attitude, and it's good to see that in today's NFL, some teams are getting away from that. And if you've botched in some way your relationship with the player to the point that he wants out, you just got to say, what can we do? And the one team that is trying to keep their feet planted firmly in the ground on this is the 49ers with Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
They think they can walk this back. But the reality is all these other guys moving teams. And, A.J. Brown got what he wanted, and others have gotten what they wanted, and it's good that we've gotten to that point.
No, it is. It is. It makes it interesting. It's fun to watch. It is, and I'm interested to see how it goes for Philadelphia with their experiment on this. Like, let's spend big money on a guy that's a proven commodity. And, yes, we'll see. Treylon Burks, I mean, he's got some A.J. Brown similarities. I don't think he's quite as talented as A.J. Brown was coming out. A.J. Brown I thought was pretty damn good and certainly worthy of a top 20, top 25 pick. Definitely. But
and was a second rounder.
And was a second rounder with Deebo and DK. In one of those years where, the production wasn't enough. They needed to see them catch the ball more. That was the only reason they were drafted in the second round. But so, and again, with team like John Robinson, the Titans, they got some big paychecks on the horizon. I also wonder, Mike, like, if the Julio Jones experiment affected A.J. Brown from this standpoint of, like, Julio Jones dealing with, his body being beat up here for a while. We've talked about it a lot. I mean, he's been able to play in games, but almost every week you and I have been working together. We're like, well, Julio Jones didn't practice this week. He'll be a game-time decision. We'll see how he warms up on Sunday. I mean, we've been saying that for like 75 years in a row here. A.J. Brown, you do think about it too. He's had some injuries. So maybe this is one of those things too where, team looks at it and goes, wait, we had a few minor knee surgeries, things like that. Maybe we don't want to take the chance, 3-4 years down the road. That's going to come into these calculations too for some of these teams that I kind of find an interesting angle as well.
That was pretty good, though. You doing Phil acting like the guy reporting the news on A.J. Brown. That was good. I like
you like that? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.